Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best samurai games ever. When it was released, critics and gamers alike regarded the game as the best samurai game to date. Its beautiful world to explore, sword-fighting gameplay and addictive storyline left many wanting for more. The game's story puts you in the shoes of Jin Sakai in his quest to master the samurai path to foil the plans of the Mongols, and in his relentless struggle for Japan's peace. Many developers, such as Yakuza creator Nagoshi Toshihiro, praised Ghost of Tsushima for its accuracy in retelling part of its samurai legacy.
Jin, you're late.
You're impatient. Where's the monk?
The bastards beat me to him. Now they're torturing him at the temple.
Come on.
There has been a major interest as of late in samurai titles, and showing them in a way that goes beyond basic sword fighting. Trek to Yomi is one great example of that, because in this very unique cinematic game, you play as a samurai who tries to protect a village in order to fulfill a vow to his fallen master. But what comes of this is a journey to the afterlife to confront the past and figure out what the future holds, if there is a future at all. The game combines a compelling story with rich sword-fighting mechanics to make it one that you can't miss out on. So give Trek to Yomi a shot if you're up for something a bit different. It's tough for a sequel to outdo the original game, especially when said game is comprehensively solid. However, Team Ninja really stepped up to the task with Nioh 2, fortifying gameplay with additional weapons, enemy types, and new techniques like burst counter, which allows the player to deflect more damaging blows from artificial intelligence. Despite being released after Nioh, this title acts as a prequel story and offers a character creation system for a more personalized journey. There are a ton of fighting games on the market. Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are household names, while BlazBlue and Dragon Ball FighterZ opt for a more cartoonish approach. So what makes Soulcalibur different? Well, it turns out many sword fighting games take place in 3D environments, part of a bigger level, and don't offer that classic 1v1 matchup that was once popular. Soulcalibur fills that niche with style. The latest entry, Soulcalibur VI, is a series reboot which preserves the spirit of its predecessors, while incorporating new mechanics like Reversal Edge that lets you block your rival's counterattack. A tribute to the Dark Souls games, Nioh is a fantasy action RPG with mission-based gameplay and fairly punishing difficulty. Enemies spawn across maps as you explore, drawing you into skirmishes where you can deploy melee and ranged weapons to inflict damage. Boss battles significantly up the ante with more brutal attacks and necessitate dodging and rolling. Fortunately, checkpoints do exist in the form of shrines, which further allow you to regenerate your health. Nioh's protagonist William is in fact inspired by an English navigator of the same name who became a samurai in the 1600s. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is technically not a samurai game since the game places you as a lone shinobi named Wolf. However, unlike ninja titles like Tenchu, Sekiro pits you against fearsome samurai warriors whom you must defeat. From Software's titles focus on melee combat, deflecting enemies' attacks and parrying emulates the essence of the samurai sword style. The gameplay can be easily compared to Nioh, however, both manage to differ from one another in many different aspects. The thing that makes Nioh and Sekiro similar to one another is perhaps the heavy focus on countering the enemy's ruthless movements and how it nudges players to be strategic with every move they make, as the enemy can easily one-shot kill you. If you're after a samurai game that dials in on the distinct weaponry and fighting style of these warriors, then For Honor is arguably your best bet. This multiplayer fighting game features Wulin warriors, knights, Vikings, and samurai, and thanks to the For Honor class system, you can even select a specific type of samurai warrior as your main. There's the adaptable Kensei, a solid all-round samurai warrior who decimates their foes with an Odachi sword, or the Orochi, an assassin who has mastered the art of counter-attacking with a katana. If you prefer heavier tools, you can try the Kanabo-wielding Shigoki, who clubs his opponents into a bloody pulp. Finally, there's Nobushi, who uses a Naginata pole weapon to control space and whittle down enemies from a safe distance. Although film adaptations of games usually don't fare well, the reverse isn't necessarily true. Case in point, Samurai Jack. It's an action-adventure title that pays homage to the award-winning series, and even features a familiar foe in Aku. Gameplay consists of exploration and laying waste to enemies with ranged and melee weapons to progress the story forward. Samurai Jack could have turned out very different and far less authentic had Adult Swim Games not persuaded showrunner Genndy Tartakovsky to come on board for the script.
Hattori Hanzo vs 橘右京いざ尋常に一本目勝負
On the surface, Samurai Shodown looks like another 2.5D anime-style fighting game, like Street Fighter IV but with weapons. Delve deeper in, players will find that it's a far more strategic and tactical fighting game that requires timing and patience. There's a certain rhythm to Samurai Shodown's combat system that makes the game feel totally unique. There are counterattacks and defensive moves like rolls, parrying that can change the tide of battle in an instant. Yet despite these hardcore mechanics, Shodown is very accessible and easy to pick up for brand new players.
勝者立花右京
This is a turbocharged sci-fi hack and slash game with attitude. The art direction should tempt anybody with inclinations towards cyberpunk, and the fierce, fast-paced slashing will keep you playing. You play as a cyborg or Ghostrunner in this game's lingo that must scale a large tower populated with drones, enforcers, sentries, and several other brutes. Your weapon of choice is the humble katana, which can undergo aesthetic changes if you manage to hunt down hidden skins. One more level developed Ghostrunner in collaboration with 3D Realms, the makers of Duke Nukem and Ion Fury. That's another reason to check out this game.
Tenants found outside their homes will be considered part of the rebel forces and treated as such.
Cyberpunk 2077 isn't exactly a samurai game, it is an ambitious open-world role-playing game that offers a visually stunning cyberpunk world. The story, characters, and atmosphere of the game are also very well designed. However, there were players who were disappointed due to technical problems at the launch of the game. Shortly after, CD Projekt Red tried to fix the game's problems and made the game better. If you like samurai games, you can take your katana and jump into this cyber world for a different alternative.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Warframe is a massively popular MMO that puts various twists on the genre, all the while being free to play. Without diving too much into the story, you'll get to pilot one of over 50 different Warframes, each with their own special powers and abilities to use in battle. Add to that you'll have over 500 weapons to put onto your Warframe in order to make them even more powerful. You'll take these Warframes into action alone or with allies, and under the guidance of your Lotus, try and save the galaxy.
Queens will not be pleased. Clone Rot has gone too far. Send word.
In Onimusha Warlords, you battle against hordes of demons as swordsman Samanosuke Akechi in a quest to rescue Princess Yuki of the Saito clan. The plot gets pretty convoluted from then on, but the gameplay is rock solid. You fight demons with a katana and an assortment of magical weapons, absorb their souls, and use them to upgrade your arsenal. There are also puzzles to solve, offering a pleasant break from demon slaying, and occasionally you'll gain control of Keed, your kunoichi assistant, with an entirely different set of acrobatic abilities and weapons to master.
Mine.
The glory days of real-time tactics games like Desperados and Commandos seemed well and truly over until Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun entered the scene. Shadow Tactics is a proper hardcore stealth game in which you control 5 different characters, each with unique special abilities that help you covertly navigate across maps in a team effort. Beyond the exquisite environmental details, Mimamai Games has gone the extra mile by including Japanese voice audio for added immersion. Choose your approach as you sneak into mighty castles, snowy mountain monasteries, or secret jungle camps. set traps, poison your opponents, or completely avoid contact with the enemy.
I noticed you're in mind if I am Oshiro Mugan.
If you've been a fan of Capcom's Gangster series, you'll need to see their dive into the past via like a dragon Ishin. In the game, you play a samurai from the 1860s. He is someone who has been wrongly accused of murder and must fight to not only get the truth about his father's death, but restore his honor and save Japan in the process. Japan is standing on the knife edge of change, and you'll be the one to wield the blade to slice the country into its new age. A deep story mixed with exciting combat awaits you.